You guys enjoyed my last disturbing movies list, so I've put together another one, except this time, these are movies that I could not watch a second time because they are that grim. To clarify, I'm not one to just be disturbed for no reason, so these movies still definitely have merit outside of their disturbing nature, but they are extremely brutal. Okay, let's go. Australia isn't all sunshine and rainbows, guys. We've got some pretty messed up movies, and Hounds of Love is most certainly one of them. Hounds of Love is a 2016 Australian crime thriller film written and directed by Ben Young in his feature directorial debut. The film follows a married couple who kidnap and terrorize a young woman in the suburbs of Perth, where I was born. Ashley Cummings won the award for Best Actress at Venice Film Festival, and it's so well deserved. Her performance in particular is absolutely stellar, but across the board here, they are all so good. The cinematography in Hounds of Love is extremely beautiful as well. The whole movie is well done, and it's just that the content of it is so damn disturbing. If you've clicked on this, then you have some interest in disturbing movies, but I am just warning you, this one is really brutal. If you've seen Snowtown, then you'll know how brutal Australian films can be, but I would definitely put Hounds of Love up there with being one of the hardest to sit through. On Letterboxd, I stumbled across a few commenters classing it as a torture porn, and despite being nearly close to vomiting watching this in some scenes, I would heavily disagree with this statement because I think there's a lot of psychological elements to this film, and it's really touching on kind of domestic abuse, I guess, and manipulation, and how there can be so much darkness going on in a relationship, in a household that we might not necessarily know about. So whilst it's extremely unsavory, I feel like that's probably the wrong word because this movie is so brutal, I think it's an important one. Nil by Mouth isn't a film that I hear many people talk about, and I guess it came out a while ago now, but considering that it was written and directed by Gary Oldman, you would think it would kind of pop up more. It is loosely based on his life, and Gary Oldman dedicated this film to his father. This is obviously an extremely personal film, and it really does not hold back. Nil by Mouth tells the story of the family of Raymond, his wife Val, and her brother Billy, who live in a working class London district. Also in their family is Val and Billy's mother Janet and grandmother Kath. Billy is a drug addict and Raymond kicks him out of the house, making him live on his own. Raymond is generally a rough and even violent person, and that leads to problems in the life of the family. This film is extremely violent. The domestic abuse scenes are extremely hard to watch, but further than that, it's more the emotional turmoil it takes on you and the real and rawness of the performances from Ray Winston and Kathy Burke here, which are absolutely incredible. I'm a huge fan of both of those actors. I feel like Ray Winston is just in his prime here. This is probably one of his best performances. Bearing witness to the utter dysfunction and brutality of the lives of these people shines a light on how some people live and what they have to endure every day. Nil by Mouth is filmed very up close and personal, making it quite suffocating and just really getting to the core of you, especially in the violent scenes or in the scenes where there are more monologues or, talking between family members, arguments, all of those kind of things. It's just very visceral and it puts you right in the thick of it with this family. My parents introduced me to this film, maybe because they're British. This one stuck out to them, and I remember watching it with my mom, and I will never watch it again. However, I do think it's very important as it shows how different all of our lived experiences are. Eden Lake seems like your average horror survival film when you see the poster, the cover, you read the synopsis. But Eden Lake goes that extra mile in every scene, just making it so hard to sit through. When a young couple goes to a remote wooded lake for a romantic getaway, their quiet weekend is shattered by an aggressive group of local kids. Rowdiness quickly turns to rage as the teens terrorize the couple in unimaginable ways, and a weekend outing becomes a bloody battle for survival. I remember at this time when Eden Lake came out, there was a slew of British TV shows and movies that were highlighting gang culture, and the kids seem to be getting younger and younger. You know how impressionable youths can be, especially when they are led by Jack O'Connor's character, who I always think is so brilliant, and this role was just perfect for him. He has such a strong influence over the group, and it's just truly disturbing to see children be pushed and pressured to commit such violent acts. There isn't anything particularly notable about the way this movie was filmed, and the character development was maybe slightly thin in that sort of general average horror way. But Eden Lake was just going places where I just hadn't seen films go before. And it was such an intense story of survival of the female character, kind of reminiscent of something like I Spit on Your Grave. So I was very taken by it. I don't want to say I enjoyed it. I think I have actually maybe seen this twice just to show someone else and see their reaction to it because I was so shocked. But it's definitely not a feel-good Friday night movie, you know? Usually these types of lists comprise of older releases, but I couldn't help but include the recent Stephen King adaptation, The Long Walk. I actually had a plan to review this one in real time after seeing it at the cinemas. I vlogged beforehand. I was saying I'm so excited to go and see The Long Walk and, let you know my real-time reaction. And when I got in the car after seeing it, I couldn't even turn my camera on because I just felt so broken. It took me a few days to process what I had seen, and I kind of just didn't even really want to talk about it, I guess, because it was so disturbing. I felt really emotionally exhausted after The Long Walk, and I've spoken to many other people that felt the same. I don't think it was a perfect film, and I'm not going to spoil it because I know that I think maybe it's still out in cinemas and it will be on streaming soon, so you might want to check it out. But overall, I think that the reason it was so disturbing was because it wasn't a horror movie, it was a war movie, and war is a very real thing. It's something that is going on, especially right now. So it just felt so brutal to watch something that's very close to that in its premise. And to me, the message of The Long Walk was definitely echoing that of, war and all of the issues with it. Watching these lives just be wasted one after the other under the guise of like patriotism and this thing that we're just accepting. In The Long Walk's case, it's the competition that they are all enlisting in because times are tough. And then I guess in our real world life, it is war that's going on under our noses, and we kind of do accept it to an extent. There are particular scenes and things about The Long Walk I won't go into because I don't want to spoil it that were particularly disturbing, but I feel the way that the movie was marketed was more of a, check out that kill, or it's gory and bloody. And I can tell you now, it's definitely not like that at all. I was crying multiple times throughout the movie. It's just brutal and emotionally exhausting, as well as being physically hard to sit through. So I would definitely put this on this list of movies that I can only watch once. Based on a true story and shot on location in a real Thai prison, this A24 film, A Prayer Before Dawn, is absolutely brutal. It tells the story of Billy Moore, an English boxer incarcerated in Thailand's most notorious prison. Thrown into a world of drugs and violence, he finds his best chance to escape is to fight his way out in prison Muay Thai tournaments. Muay Thai. This might sound like a lot of other like boxing, fighting movies that are like generally pretty gritty and obviously violent, but I promise you, A Prayer Before Dawn is way, way more brutal than anything that you've seen in that genre. The fighting alone would be enough, and just the setting and everything that's happening to him is just so intense, and it feels very real as well. This movie is shot so beautifully. It's captured so well. And then pair that with the performance from Joe Cole, so superb. He is playing Billy. You may recognize him from Peaky Blinders, but he's able to do a lot more with this character. I would recommend watching it for the cinematography alone. I feel like it's just so, so well done. But I do think that, if you are someone who struggles to sit through something that's covering kind of everything from like violence to drug addiction and just someone being captured in a situation that is kind of feels just so hopeless, to be honest. It's just one of those movies where you're like, oh my God, I can't imagine being you. How are you going to get out of this? It just feels like there is no hope for him. It pulls together really well, building tension and emotion, and then balancing that out with a lot of action, but then also these moments of stillness. A Prayer Before Dawn is a 10 out of 10 from me, but could only watch that one once. If you guys have seen any of these, please let me know below, or if there is anything else that you want to add to this list that you could only watch once, I would love to hear. Subscribe, give this video a like as well, because I'm a new channel and I'm hoping to share more videos with you. So let me know if there's anything you'd like me to review. I'll see you guys in the next one.